All right, so today we're going to talk about Early Achievers Program Profile. The discussion will include what is program profile process, program profile report, and coaching supports. So tell us in the chat, have you started program profile? Have you completed program profile? Share your experience or questions you may have. A little bit about program profile. Provide data to kick off the program profile will provide data to kick off each 3-year quality recognition cycle. It shares feedback from children's families to promote family engagement. And it supports programs and coaches with continuous quality improvement. In the graphic, you'll notice. So program profile is a process, right? So you'll complete the surveys, you'll receive your report, and then this will be part of the coaching cycle, right? So continuous coaching. So this is the quality recognition cycle of early achievers. First, you'll connect with your coach. Then you will complete your program profile survey. You'll receive 20 points for completing your survey. So you get 20 points for completing the process. Then you'll engage with coaching again. You'll complete your first round of video highlights. You'll receive a report. You'll engage in coaching. You'll do your second round of video highlights. You'll receive a report. You'll engage with coaching again, and then you'll have the option to do other various activities to receive more points, which include accreditation, records review, professional development, and so on. So what happens during program profile? You can do an independent interview or survey on CC. So you can do an independent survey in CC, or you can do a facilitated interview or survey with your community liaison. Yes, and Elsie will give us a walkthrough in a moment. So what's included, who gets surveys? In the child care center, the director will get a survey, the lead teachers, at least one teacher from each learning environment, and then the families. There is no minimum required, but we want to receive as much family feedback as possible. For a family child care home, the owner or director will receive a survey, the teachers, lead teachers, so at least one teacher from each learning environment. This means if your family home's childcare has 2 different areas. So for example, you have a toddler, infant toddler group, and you have a preschool group, that would mean 2 surveys. Otherwise, it would just mean 1 survey if the majority of the time the kids are together. And families, of course, and no minimum required. But of course, we want as many family responses as possible. So, okay, I completed my surveys. What happens next? So the information goes to Cultivate Learning at UW, and a report is generated based on the answers that we receive. And this report is then used to prep for conversations with your coach. So this is hopefully the beginning part of, hopefully will guide some of that conversation with your coach so that, it'll start the CQI process. Now we're going to hear from Michael.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, I'm Michael with Child Care Aware of Washington. Yeah, there's many ways that coaches use a program profile to support quality improvement. A couple ways they do this is by identifying focus areas and using family responses to help create personalized goals that represent their core values, helping providers create smaller goals that can contribute to the bigger picture, with many check-ins along the way to ensure continuous growth. One of the quotes from a coach in the field explains that I've used the program profile report to reflect on the family responses with family child care providers. We focus on what families respond with. I use the program profile worksheet to help to help me generate many questions to reflect on. One question in particular I like asking is, what do you wish families would have said about your program? What do you want families to say about your program in the future? This question often provokes a lot of reflection because it's asking what they value that the families haven't recognized in their response. When we talk about how we could make those values more visible to families, which leads to family childcare providers to think about what changes they would make or do to reflect their values to their families. Coaches also keep provider goals and interests at top of mind, as this is an essential part of their work. And coaches start by building a trusting relationship and support providers by meeting them where they are. One of the most important aspects of coaching is to ensure that that coaching is provider-driven and focused. And another quote from a coach is, I talk to providers and help them think about what they want to do in their programs. We talk about what their curriculum is and how they want to implement one if they do not already have one. I use this time to talk about their philosophy and values as well. I make it a goal to discuss equity and inclusion and ask what they have in their program to support these areas. We set small goals to complete various tasks for understanding early achievers each month. I check in with providers to see how they're doing with their goals and what I can do to help support them in meeting their goals. And lastly, the coaching cycle was briefly mentioned there. It's a vital part of coach work as it helps providers through continuous quality improvement, or CQI. And I'll just use the direct quote from another coach too, that says the coaching cycle involves getting data, reflecting on it, discussing what to do next, implementing it, and then reflecting on how it went. The coaching cycle helps each program by working with their individual goals and needs. Since every program is different, my coaching approach varies from site to site. I work to understand what each site needs and how it functions, so I can help them with individualized support as much as possible. It's also a great parallel process since we are asking providers to individualize for each child. Thank you. And here you can use this hyperlink here to connect with a coach. So if you're unsure who your coach is, you can type this in here and go to this website and find your coach in your region.
Thank you. Now we're going to hear from Elsie. I'm going to stop sharing so she can share her screen.
Thanks, Jamie. I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to do a walkthrough of program profile on CC. So the website for CC is wa-ceci.org. You're going to type in your email address and your password. If you're unsure of what your password is, you're going to click reset password, and it's going to take you to this page where you're going to type in your email address and then press send, and that'll send you a link to create a password. So once you type in your email address and password, you'll click here to sign in. And then for all the components of the Early Achievers Quality Recognition Cycle, you're always going to come here to the Early Achievers tab, and you're going to click that. For you, since this is like an example account, we have these examples sites, but for you, you'll only see your program name. So you'll click that, and then that'll take you to this page where you'll see this yellowish, orangish box, and it says program profile. You'll click that, and then as the director, you'll click this Take Director Survey bar to get to your director survey, and then you'll click number 3, I am ready, take me to my survey, and that'll open up your survey. And here on top is the survey language preference. You'll click English, and that'll change the language. This has a button down here of save and continue. So you'll answer every question in order to be able to save it. So make sure that you answer every question, or else you won't be able to save this certain section and your responses could be lost. So that is just one tip. And so, yeah, that's the steps for the director survey. And I'm going to scroll up to go back to the other steps, show you guys that. If you scroll down, there's this create classroom bar. You'll click that, and as having a home center or home daycare, you'll technically have just one classroom. So you can put here the name of the daycare, but if you have a center, then you'll create multiple classrooms. So I'm just going to put an example of a name, and then you'll search the lead teacher of that specific classroom, or if you have a home daycare, you'll just look up your own information, either your full name or your email address. You'll click that, and then the ages, language of instruction, English. Is it an active classroom? Yes. If you have full ECAP enrollment in the specific classroom, you'll mark it. If not, you can just leave it blank. And then you can do a session start time and a session end time. That can just be the hours that this specific classroom or the daycare is open. And this is just an example. And once all of this is filled out, you'll press the create button. And you'll see that now there is a box appearing under the classroom section. And again, if you have multiple classrooms, this bar will still be here, and you'll do those same exact steps and put that information and press create once you're done. If you need to make any edits, or if there are families that are interested in doing a family survey, you're going to click the classroom box that corresponds with that family. And this first bar here is edit classroom. If you need to make changes, you'll click that and change whatever information is necessary. So I'm just going to change and say that it's preschool, and then press update. And that'll save those changes. To add the family information that do want to do a survey, you'll just scroll down and press create a new family survey. And then you're going to either put their email address if they chose that option, or the phone number option. So you'll input the family name and then phone number. So I'm just going to add an example of that. Let's say this family only chose to do over the phone. So I'm just going to add random numbers here as an example. The language of the family, let's say they speak Spanish, and then they'll also put the best time to call them. Let's say 3 p.m. And then here, the last one, family would like to be called by a community liaison to answer questions by phone. We're going to say yes, because that's the option they chose. And then we're going to press create. And this will create another box that shows the information of the families. And you can edit the information or delete it. If for whatever reason they maybe change their mind or something and don't want to do it, there's that option. And if there's multiple families, the create a new family survey bar will still be here, so you can add the information of the other families. So you'll just follow those same steps. And that is all of the steps for program profile.
Thank you so much, Elsie. You'll also notice that on that same bar where we did most of our work, which is here over here in this corner that says Early Achievers, but you can also access the resource library, and you'll find lots of information here, as well as information in Spanish as well.
And we just encourage you to stay connected. Connect with your coach, your community liaison, with CC, and with the Early Tubers website. And thank you so much for being here. Thanks for participating in work groups if you did that. And just thank you for all the work you're doing along the way. And thanks for being here today.